Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Automation Edge webinar series on Cherwell Automation using a robotic process. Today we'll cover the connector for our RPA solution to automate non-IT requests. Okay, just a few housekeeping notes. Everyone is placed on mute until so that speakers don't get interrupted. On the right, you'll see the question box. Please submit your questions through this box. And without further ado, let's get started. So the agenda is we'll cover IT service management and Cherwell, how to build a business case for non-IT requests. We'll talk about some of the building blocks. And then I'll hand it over to Uday, our CEO and co-founder of AutomationEdge, for an introduction. And then we'll swiftly move into a demo and leave plenty of time for Q&A. So as we all know, the journey of really IT service management and where we are today started out as a help desk, and as IT became a service to the business, moved into more of a service desk paradigm. And as IT became successful with ITIL and process organization, then we moved into the enterprise service management. For now, the service management solutions from Cherwell can be used not only and has been used for IT, but certainly is now being embraced and being used for other business functions within the enterprise, like IT, HR, finance and accounting, etc. With that said, this is something very similar to what a Cherwell service catalog will look like. And as you can see, we're starting to get to the non-IT as well as IT services. But for this session today, we'll focus on non-IT requests, which certainly extends and enhances the Cherwell solution throughout an organization. Here today is a few examples and the different functions, if you will, facilities, finance, and HR on potential and good candidates for process automation. The journey starts will start somewhat with the low-tech processes, and as adoption and as use is moving forward, then you can move into more complex and more, I'll say, mission-critical processes for automation. You could be thinking of your own organization outside of these samples for certain business functions and requests, service requests that can be built. And as you can see, to execute these processes can take up quite a large amount of human capital on repeatable, manual, and mundane tasks that could be or should be automated. And certainly AutomationEdge's digital assistants, our bots, are an excellent way to start your process automation journey. If you look at HR, I always like to say, process automation, especially for these repeatable and mundane tasks, from an HR point of view, you can put the HR, the human, back into HR, let the digital assistants, the bots, do a lot of the heavy lifting for the manual and mundane processes, where the human capital can start to talk to employees and put the human back into that aspect. So with that, from a business point of view and a business case, these are samples that we have put up from different aspects of service requests and the number of requests. Obviously, this will change because that data actually resides in your Cherwell service management system. So the number of requests will change, and an average cost of a help desk call is about $20. It could be a little bit higher and it could be lower. It really depends on your organization. But this is a good sampling on and good candidates on some of the requests that come through that can help you build out that business case that you would need to advance in an RPA journey. Some of the savings that we talk about is um, you know savings direct and indirect. But certainly, where we see a lot of the savings is in the process time. You can reduce that process time. We call it turnaround time. That can add a lot of value to the end user, as well as speed up that process. Time equals money, so anytime you can improve on the cost and the execution time of a process, that's a great thing for your business users. Um, and it certainly improves service delivery. From a direct point of view, scalability, the digital assistant, the bot, is always available 7/24, 365. It also helps with the accuracy because humans get tired, they take off, things in this nature. So the bot is helps from a governance point of view, ensures from a standard operating procedure, and also avoids costly rework. Do it once, do it right, definitely equals savings. The other value proposition is that you have human capital gains on the productivity side. Not only are you executing these manual mundane processes through a digital assistant, but it also helps the human capital, the employees, to move into a more strategic role, more knowledge work than just executing on these manual processes. What it really does, it also helps improve customer satisfaction. Very important when, and it could be external stakeholders or it could be internal stakeholders. But certainly we've seen through process automation, especially on non-IT tasks, that you have increased service, increased customer satisfaction, increased service delivery and service excellence. And you also, as a byproduct, has also increased employee satisfaction, which is very important to every organization as they move through their careers. We certainly today enjoy the Cherwell Technology Partnership. As you can see on the LinkedIn page, where Cherwell had put out a release, if you will, to let the Cherwell partners, the Cherwell customers, on the added value with the relationship and partnership that has been created between Cherwell and AutomationEdge. We are listed in the Cherwell M App Exchange, and our integration has been seamlessly, and we are excited. Hopefully, you're excited about the integration and the technology partnership, so that you can take advantage of the integration, the deep RPA connectors for Cherwell as you take your digital transformation and your process automation journey. And the other thing that we're very proud of here at AutomationEdge is that we reside in both the Gartner IT process automation market guide, as you can see with the arrow, as well as in the Gartner market guide for process automation. We certainly feel that collectively between RPA features and functions as well as ITPA, that allows you and allows us from an AutomationEdge point of view to really bring an end-to-end enterprise workflow together through these disciplines. So very excited about that. And without further ado, I will turn it over now to Uday, our CEO and co-founder, and please enjoy the rest of the webinar. Okay, Uday, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ed. And so let me take you further in this session. So I will talk about AutomationEdge, some of the applicable use cases for non-IT's automation, and a case study. So Cherwell as a solution and used in enterprise service desk scenarios where it's not only used for IT but non-IT as well. When these requests are raised by end users, the business users, the ticket gets assigned to a queue. And from there, the human agents sitting and supporting these requests work on that and spend time and ultimately then resolve those tickets. So there is a time and investment of money where many of these tasks may be repetitive in nature. And as Ed said, you can look at your service desk ticket data and category-wise ticket data. You will be able to find out how many tickets are there for which all categories. So let's take one example, an example of employees updating their personal information. And when they put that request for HR function, somebody from HR works on that, goes to a HRMS system like Oracle or SAP or PeopleSoft, and update the information on behalf of the employee, the personal information. And that's how it works currently. So when AutomationEdge is there, instead of the ticket getting assigned to a human queue, you can create a queue for AutomationEdge, and the request would be picked up by AutomationEdge, and it will go and do an action on the target systems. And for doing that action on the target system, we need not know the backend APIs or database structure of these applications. What we use is our RPA technology, whether it is web UI or it's as a desktop UI or it is a mainframe system or a mini-frame like AS400 based system or application running on those systems. So we have connectors, and the way we works, I will explain it in the next slide, but essentially it will go and fulfill that request using the software robots and resolve the ticket. So the end users get a quick turnaround time, and the cost is not involved in basically fulfilling those requests by putting human resources. So this is how it works as far as the RPA technology is concerned. If you look at back office operations, as I said, when they are working on those tickets or doing in a business operations, they go to a particular one system, they read some value from one application, go to a few text boxes, copy some information, apply some rules, and then go into another system and enter the information into that another application. So there is a lot of swivel chair action which happens because the systems are not integrated and automated. The earlier approach to achieve automation typically was to use APIs or BPM and SOA. The moment you utter a word BPM and SOA, they say that it is like a multi-million-dollar, multi-year project. And of course, not for that high volume of transactions, or you cannot justify the kind of investment of time and money is involved. And that's where RPA kind of becomes handy. What it does is it kind of really mimics the human actions. The way we as a human do, we go to application, read some information, and then apply rules, and then enter information on another system. The software robots do exactly same. And we provide is easy to use process studio where you can drag and drop the steps in that, and you can achieve automation. You need not have to do is a lot of coding. And even if your complex business rules are there, you will be able to do that wherever required using the scripting steps which we have provided. So with that approach, you can practically automate every department, whether it is front office, middle office, back office, or IT operations. And focus of our today's webinar is more on back office and non-IT's automation. But you can apply it to other areas as well within your company. Things like ERP's automation or reconciliations and many different areas you can use our technology, AutomationEdge and RPA. So RPA is very important part of our product and is a buzzword in the industry. But we go beyond RPA and have very core functions in our product which helps in enterprise-wide automation. For example, the cognitive capabilities or which are there, or IT automation. And we'll talk about that in our next webinars for Cherwell. We have two more webinars, one on IT and non-IT's automation, and another is on intelligent service desk, and we'll talk about these other quarters of our wheel during that webinar. So this is how a catalog looks like for you for in Cherwell, and when you extend it beyond IT for non-IT's request. And let us look at some of these requests which are for different departments and can be a good candidate for automation. For example, timesheet, updating a timesheet. It's a very boring and time-consuming and mundane task where employees need to they are put through this, and they spend a lot of time going to a ERP application or a timesheet application, going to different screens and entering the information. And instead of that, if they submit a spreadsheet through a Cherwell system as a request, the bots can pick up that request, the software robots of AutomationEdge. They can go into that ERP or timesheet application, navigate to a screen, and enter all the information available in the timesheet. And for the end user, it's just uploading a spreadsheet through a service request, and that's all. So same way for a procurement department, it may be about supplier creation or invoice processing, which they can request through service desk, and it can get resolved through automation. And similarly for sales, it may be about loading an order. And if you see at the quarter end or year end, there is a rush to load these orders, and it kind of has a lot of backlog and impact. In the finance department, it may be about delivering invoices or reconciliation, or in travel and admin, it may be about automation of conference room booking, or basically applying for expenses and reimbursement of expenses. Or let's take an example of taking this beyond IT and non-IT and to your business operations. For example, if your company is in insurance, they're in the business operation folks, they spend their time and energies for a new business or serving existing customers. And for them also, you can extend the Cherwell system, and they can request on their request, the tickets can get created into Cherwell system, and then automation can help them get them fulfilled as well or resolved as well. So for example, if there is a process for quotation and quotation for a new policy, that can basically be requested through a Cherwell system, and then AutomationEdge takes over. You can even have you can code and put underwriting rules into your system. The Cherwell system can go, AutomationEdge system can go and actually do is create a code and give it back or as a response to the ticket to the user. And same way you can use it for payouts and many other areas. So let's talk about benefits using AutomationEdge with Cherwell. One is that you will be able to automate the Cherwell request using drag and drop technology, and we'll show you that during the demo at how easy it is to use and integrate Cherwell with AutomationEdge and automate the request coming in Cherwell. There, we have a library of ready bots, and that can help you in non-IT's automation. And other areas is like, say, end-to-end automation is where if in your company, you may see that the folks in business operation, for example, they may be using emails, and then there are approvals on emails, and then people are sitting and kind of working on resolving those requests coming in from maybe end users or end customers, consumers for your company. So for them, it can be like a business workflows can be automated and approvals can be automated through Cherwell system, and then those requests can be assigned to AutomationEdge and achieve an end-to-end solution and automation for those scenarios as well. So when you do that, you are essentially achieving that Uberization and helping your company into that digital journey where that automation is extended not only to employees, but partners, vendors, and customers as well. So let's go through one case study. This is a government agency. They are using AutomationEdge along with their service management system and this is for supplier management. And where there are other benefits, one of the important benefit for them is compliance, is where there is a traceability all throughout from a request who has raised the request to add a supplier. There is approval within Cherwell system or a service management system, and after that the software robots can go and do a due diligence, whatever the steps might be, to check if the supplier is to be really added into the system, and then go and enter that information into an ERP system like Oracle or SAP. So that's what is a more important benefit, is compliance, apart than reducing the cost, improving the turnaround time, or increasing the accuracy. So we have made available our F3 bot, which is basically a free bot for Cherwell customers for automating their IT and non-IT requests. And the information is available on our website, as well as free trials are available for you. With that, I would like to hand over this session to Seema to walk us through the demo, and then followed by, we will have his question and answers. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can continue to type your questions in the questions window, and we'll take those questions in Q&A session. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and thank you Uday and Ed. I'll start my demo from the self-service, easy-to-use portal of Cherwell. We can see how service requests are conveniently categorized into different areas like employee support or facilities, human resources, and so on. In this demo, I will show how SRs can be handled and fulfilled by AutomationEdge bots. We will show some live use cases from human resources as well as from facilities. So before I get into it, actually, let me show you a high-level schematic of the demo that I'm going to show. So in this flow diagram, what we see is a user can add a service request to a cart and submit a request. In our case, the employee update is added to a cart and request is submitted from the Cherwell portal. And from the portal, it is then pulled by the Cherwell AutomationEdge integration app. And this integration app pushes or submits the request to AutomationEdge queue. So it is picked up by the AutomationEdge engine, and then the engine can talk to any third-party system, in this case, HRMS system, where it makes a check if the employee is valid. If the employee is present in HRMS and is active, it updates the employee data, sends the result message back to AutomationEdge to the integration app, and the service request is closed or resolved in Cherwell. However, if the employee is present in HRMS but is not active, then also, since it is not active, it cannot be updated, and the message is sent and as resolved, and it ends. And if the employee is present but is not active, then a failure message is sent, and it can be assigned to human queue. Okay, so this is the flow that I'm going to demonstrate live. Let us get back to the service catalog. We'll go to human resources category. So employee master update is the service request that I want to submit. Yeah, so I go to the human resources category, and I go to employee master data update, and I want to update the data of a particular employee. But before I update, let me show you the current scenario of that employee. So I come to an HRM system. I go to the personal information management employee list page, and let me see the details of Amy J. Now you see here for Amy James that she has been assigned a certain driver's license which needs to be corrected, and her gender needs to be changed, and some immigration details need to be changed. Okay. Yeah. So So we go back to our Cherwell portal and let us submit the request. So we fill in the basic information required for the service request. We select the employee that we had just reviewed. Next one, we change to married from single. Yeah. Let us update the new driver license. As well as the renewed passport number. Let us add this to cart. Let us add one more service request to cart and we'll submit them together. Let us take from the facilities admin category, let us submit conference room booking. Let us enter the basic requester information. So we need a conference room the next week. For 2 hours. And for participants, so let us add this request to cart. So we have 2 requested cards and let us submit the order. Now these 2 new requests have been created, as you can see, 10,3447 and 3446. So let us now go to see the request SR summary page, where we should be able to see the 2 new requests that have come. Let us dig down into one of those. So we can see the service request is a new request and it has been assigned to AutomationEdge. As you see here, AutomationEdge. Yeah, and let us go into the task details. Yeah, so as we can see, a new task has been created for this particular request. Okay, so since the task is created, now let us go to the integration app. So we have this integration wizard and integration app where the request is pulled from Cherwell and then it is submitted to AutomationEdge. And here it is yet to be received from Cherwell side. So we are just waiting for that request. Yeah. So I'll explain this in more details as we go ahead. Right now it is just being submitted to AutomationEdge in new status. So let us go and see what's happening on AutomationEdge server. So can we see if the yeah, so here it is yet to come. Let's go on the machine so that we can see if the robot has started working. Yeah, so the request has now been submitted in AutomationEdge. So let's go to the robotic action. Yeah, so the robot has started, it has just logged into the HRMS system through Web GUI automation. It is going to the personal information management and it is searching for our user that we updated, that is for Amy. It will now update the details. As you can see, it has updated driver's license and the status, and now immigration details sort of is updating. So this graphic user interface automation is complete, and the other also is complete. So let us first see the employee master update. Yeah, so it shows that data has been successfully updated for employee James Smith, and the conference room booking is also complete. It's showing the conference room details, such as room Daisy is confirmed. And we can also check in the back end that whether the details have gone into the HRMS system. So let us go to Amy James. And as you see, the driver's license, the new license has come. As well as the immigration details. Yeah. So now let us go back to that integration app, the integration wizard. So integration wizard consists of two main screens. The first is we will see the connection screen. Yeah. So this is a connection screen in which you see that we specify the connection details to both AutomationEdge and Cherwell. The top part is for AutomationEdge connection, and the below part, Cherwell connection. So this is necessary for the app to perform, to function. And now let us go to the mapping screen. In this mapping screen, we see on one side AutomationEdge details, such as the workflow that is used in this particular fulfillment, that is employee master update. And on the Cherwell side, what is being submitted is the service request. So this on the right hand side, you see the request details. And also on both sides, if you see, there is AE attributes and there is fields of Cherwell service request. Now the fields of Cherwell have to be mapped to the workflow parameters. So in the bottom half, you see the specific field value of Cherwell is mapped to AutomationEdge attribute names. So this is how the integration is done. Now let me take you to Process Studio workflow. Yeah. So here, we use the web GUI automation, as I mentioned, and web GUI plugins are readily available in Process Studio on the left-hand side. So you can easily drag and drop actions like start a browser, or set a value in a box, or get value from a box, or click a button and so on. So this whole workflow of employee master update was conveniently built with a drag and drop option, although it looks big, but it's all drag and drop, wherein it can log into HRMS systems, submit a login button, and search for an employee, and update all details like marital status, middle name, and so on. So this was a view of how through integration app we did the automation and fulfillment. Now there's another way to do the fulfillment, which is known as the plugin approach. Now we have ready plugins for Cherwell. As you can see, we have plugins Cherwell Get, Insert, and Update. So if I go to the Cherwell Get, then I can configure this particular plugin and get information about from any form. And as long as I know the object public ID, I can search for fields that I want, and I can then run this particular plugin. And you can see that I was able to, it will just take a while to run and complete. So it's still running. As you can see, the workflow is still running. Similar operations can be done for Cherwell Insert and Update in any form. So now it is showing complete, and we have got data from Cherwell. So this plugin approach is the second approach other than the integration app approach. So with this, I think I've completed the demo, and I'd like to hand over back to Ed for the Q&A.
Okay, hey, thank you, Seema. Appreciate it. Thank you, Uday. And thanks everyone out there in the webinar. Don't forget, there's the part 2 and part 3 will be on part 2 will be on September 12th on how to automate IT, HR, and other business functions. And then the other webinar to close out the series will be on October 5th, and we'll talk about more on Cherwell Service Desk Intelligent and with cognitive capabilities. With that, we'll start opening up the QA, and questions are being submitted as we speak. Okay. Just waiting for that.
Questions coming in, Ed, and
Okay.
so the one question is, do you update Cherwell business objects directly or via their forms?
Where?
So using APIs, we directly update the business objects directly, right? That's how we automate the things. Yeah. So the next question is, if we are using a chatbot, can we integrate that to create a ticket into Cherwell system? Yeah, we do support that. So one is that your chatbot system can talk to AutomationEdge through APIs, or your conversational platform can talk to AutomationEdge. From there, we can go and create a ticket into a Cherwell system and probably do part of it work related to that ticket and update the work log of Cherwell as well. I think the next question is there for you, Ed. You can take that. So the question is, how can we try this out with our own Cherwell system? So we have is a deployable app which can be deployed on Cherwell system. If you go to Cherwell site, put a request there, or put a request on AutomationEdge site, we'll be able to provide you the application, and you can yourself try it. We have an Amazon instance. Basically, we have AutomationEdge available in public cloud, Amazon cloud, and your Cherwell system will connect to AutomationEdge, and you can try all these things. We have is training videos, as well as we have regular web-based instructor-led trainings as well. And other option is our team can help you do this POC in your environment. So these various options are there. You can do it yourself, or our teams can help you do a small POC in your environment. So next question is about the pricing and how do we price this? AutomationEdge. So AutomationEdge pricing is based on software robots, and we don't charge for any orchestrator or reporting engine or even developer studio licenses. You just pay for the outcomes, which is the digital worker running in your company, and that's it. The next question is how much time it takes to automate a process like update my personal record, kind of use cases. So as I said, the approach for RPA is to do a rapid automations. So it depends again the complexity of the process, but I would say that it would be counted in days and not in months. So you will be able to automate some of these non-IT requests pretty quickly. The next question is, can we automate IT's request as well? So which are coming in Cherwell. So that is something as a topic of our next webinar, where we'll talk about how do you automate your IT's request as well, along with non-IT. And we'll talk about use cases like or requirements like for HR you have is employee onboarding, And in that case, both IT and non-IT activities are involved. And how do you automate that end-to-end is what we'll talk about in next webinar. And of course, you can use this for IT's automation. Okay, the next question is pricing per software robot. Is that per running robots or robot per process? The pricing is per robot, and you can have many more processes running on the same software robot. Yes, there. The next question is: are there pricing? Is there a pricing for bundle of robots? Yes, there is a pricing available for a bundle of robots like 10 or 50. The next question is: are there any cognitive capabilities with the product? Yeah, so we do have is cognitive capabilities where we support machine learning, and some of the ready AI bots are there with Process Studio and AutomationEdge, like classification of complaint tickets. And again, we'll talk about that in our one of the webinar. You see there is intelligent service desk, and we'll talk about during that webinar about our cognitive capabilities. The next question is: how many processes can one robot run? So one robot can run, you can think of a robot as a digital worker, and the digital worker has 24 hours, not like humans where there are 8 hours. So the robot will work for 24 hours, and think about a scenario, right? So let's say you want to update, create a supplier into ERP. That activity may take 15 minutes and 10 to 15 minutes. Let's say it takes 15 minutes. In that case, a human can create around 4 suppliers per hour, and accordingly in 24 hours, 4 into 24. But if a robot is there, it will do the activity a little faster, and that's the limit of the robot, right? And if that time is over, then you need to basically, if you have to do more transaction in a day, then you will need another robot. So next is what deployment models do you support? Do you have RPA as a service offering? Definitely. So we have is a RPA as a service offering. As I said, it is hosted in Amazon Cloud, and it's a multi-tenant RPA as a service offering, and you don't have to deploy a server, high availability and database and all of that. That all is taken care. You just get is an agent. Either it can run in cloud or in your environment, and you get started with automating your processes. As simple as it can run on your own laptop. The agent, it is lightweight, and you can develop a process, deploy it on the server, and then it can start running and automating your processes for your business applications as well as IT. So I think we are at the top of the allotted time for today's webinar. There are still few more questions coming in. We'll take them offline and send you answers over an email. And thank you for your participation today. And we look forward to seeing you again in the next 2 webinars for Cherwell. And thanks again.